Everybody, welcome back to the Legends and Dragons podcast, episode 50. 50. Chance. 50. That's halfway. And then get out of here. And there is our favorite, Nikki.
It was a drive-by facing.
Yeah. Episode 50 here from the Legends layer here in Earth, Texas.
Jimmy Klaus.
Oh! I did. And, Reggie, welcome to the podcast, my friend. Let's just start this off. Let's just start it off like this. You have a podcast.
Right. Yes, so this for the first time ever, we're being out podcasted by our guests. Right?
Out podcast.
It's like having Joe Rogan on our podcast.
Oh, yeah. Reggie is the Joe Rogan.
Right? No, I'm just saying, like, you've forgotten more about podcasting than he and I will ever learn. He's actually technologically, he podcasts with people that aren't there.
We don't do that out yet. Yeah. We have not. You have mastered that. We have no idea.
Oh no, I'm still very much a white belt at the podcasting thing.
Well, what's the name of your podcast? So these people are good.
So I have the My Empty Hands podcast. It is a martial arts podcast focused on Kempo practitioners, but I am open to all of the martial arts. So I've had jiu-jitsu folks, I've had Kali folks, I've had a little bit of everything. So anybody that wants to come and share their story, then I will be happy to have them on. So.
What made you decide to podcast?
Well, I kind of always been thinking about doing one. Just over the years, I kind of wanted to do one about like movies. I'm kind of a little bit of a movie.
I'm going to talk some movies. Not for me.
So I kind of always wanted to do one, but I never just really got into it. And then I started listening to a podcast called The Everyday Martial Artist by a guy by the name of Brian Doucette. And he's like the gold standard, in my opinion, for podcasting, especially about martial artists. And he's talked to everybody in the martial arts. You name it, he's probably had him on the show.
It's Wilson. Yeah. Chance Wilson on there?
I have recommended that he reach out to you. So basically,
I said job. I'm just a boy.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. But
so you do Kempo. Was that your first martial arts?
Yes. Yeah. The first martial art that I started in was technically Chinese Kempo.
Where at?
I'm from San Diego, so it was in San Diego and very, very south California, in a little area called Chula Vista. And I actually, watching your guys' show, I jumped up for joy when you had Tony Torres on, because he mentioned a man by the name of Chicken Gabriel.
Yeah, yep.
And Chicken Gabriel is my first instructor's instructor.
Really?
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, he mentioned National City, and I was, oh my God.
Like if it's South San Diego, but like that's almost Tijuana.
Oh yeah. Tijuana was like, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Wow. So it's right there on the,
yeah. Which I stun a lot of people in that, growing up in the 80s, we actually took a field trip to Tijuana. Nobody believes that this happened, but yes, we went down to the Tijuana Cultural Center.
Yeah.
And had a good time. And then on the way back,
no donkey.
Nope. Not that I saw. It might have been one.
That's the one.
But we had the vendors coming up to our school bus trying to sell us stuff. And, the teachers are like, hey, like, don't. Like, sure, yeah, I'll buy some candy from this guy that's chiclets.
Yeah.
Pico limon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how old were you when you got into Kempo?
Let's see. I was probably around, I don't know, I guess 13, maybe.
Did you watch a movie and you were like, I want to do that?
Well, I grew up with Black Belt Theater, Kung Fu Theater.
My God.
Shaw Brothers movies. I mean, so good. So I always wanted to get into it. And now I can't verify this, but my father claimed that he was once a bodyguard for Muhammad Ali. And he said that all the other guys that were doing martial arts and stuff were talking about, oh, I'm going to pull the guy's heart out and before he can, die and show it to him and all this stuff like that. So when I came along and I'm like, hey, I want to get into karate, I want to do kung fu, I want to do all this stuff, he's like, nope. So yeah, it took about 13, 14 years of just wearing him down. And finally he got into, he let me do it. The kind of thing that really just compelled everything to happen was a buddy of mine. We saw The Perfect Weapon, Just Speak, the Kempo movie.
Yep.
And we saw this and we're like, holy crap, we got to do this. What is this? And I remember seeing the sign and said, Kempo Karate.
Yep.
We're there. So we just found out of school and found my teacher, Mr. Pete Salas, and got in. My friend actually joined, and I hang around him. I was at the school before they opened, so after they closed, every single day, I'd sit in the front and watch every single class, and I'm just soaking it all in. And probably about a good 6 months to a year, I finally got the green light to go ahead and join. And it was nice because my buddy was kind of sneaking me techniques and stuff off the side. So I kind of had a head start when I got into training and was just in there, just every day.
So you loitered with the intent to train for a minute. It's interesting that you brought up Jess Speakman because even, I think one of the most pathologically damaging things in martial arts that I've witnessed over my life is the adherence to a pure style. In fact, when I did my 4th degree test, our speeches that we do on our black belt tests now, which now it is required to be more of a personal nature. But this is kind of a throwback to the way it used to be when I was a kid, where it's like a book report kind of thing. It's a thesis, right? And which I didn't understand, Reggie, how absolutely god-awful boring that is to the people watching. Having to listen to is like the history of the nunchakus. You know what I mean? Because you're giving a speech on something that everyone already knows about.
Right.
And they goes like, all right, let me tell you about a book you've already read 1,000 times, Right. Whereas when you're speaking from the heart, that's gripping, that's engaging, that's interesting, So anyways, on my 4th degree test, I did... my speech was on the myth of the pure style. And what I used as a reference point were things like Heian Shodan, Basai, stuff like this. And so what you end up with, Sanchin, you end up with these forms like, this is a Goju form, is it? Because they've got one in Chinese martial arts, they've got one in Kyokushin, they've got one in Okinawan martial arts, and you're like, wait a second. This is all the same form. And they're all doing their versions. When I started, my mom was a history teacher. So when I started getting into it and realizing that the crossover and the interweaving of the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean and Okinawan cultures, for hundreds of years, they would occupy each other. And that's why their cultures crossed over and their martial arts crossed over. So what we look at as pure styles now, they were never pure styles. And so when you brought up Jeff Speakman, like a lot of Kempo people are diehard, like this is the complete perfect superfood. You don't need anything else. Enter Jeff Speakman Kempo 5.0, which has jiu-jitsu in it now. He's like, we can no longer ignore.
Yeah.
Like, I love my Kempo, but so I saw it in an interview with Hoyce yesterday. And what he was saying was fascinating. He's like, jiu-jitsu has never claimed that boxing was a useless martial art, or wrestling was a useless martial art, or karate, or whatever, taekwondo. We view them as incomplete. martial arts because they actually don't finish the whole story.
Yeah.
They don't actually go to the fight is over. It goes in wrestling, you pin, you get back up. In boxing, you clinch, you break it up. In jiu-jitsu, whatever happens, happens, and it's not over until the fight is actually over. Somebody's broken or unconscious. And I love that they should all work together, like ergonomically.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's funny about Kempo, Reggie, is out of every martial art on the planet, I have more friends that do Kempo than any other martial art.
Really?
Yes. Over the course of my life, I have more friends. For goodness sake, my actual teacher, Hanshi, is the guy I rank under now.
Yeah.
It's a 9th degree in Tracy Kempo. Like, I have more friends that do Kempo than any other martial art.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it just ended up that way.
I probably have something that might help understand why that is.
But the funny thing is that even though I have more friends that do Kempo, I have never once done Kempo in my entire life. I've learned 4 swords. One of my favorite things in the whole world. I love 4 swords. But anyways, what should I do?
Well, first, so the any Kempo people that may be watching and listening, it's 5 swords.
Oh!
I don't want them to come after me.
Is there no 4 swords?
Well, there's 4, and then you get to 5.
Okay. Okay.
On the way to 5, you get to
But is there a thing that they do call 4 swords?
in all of the versions that I've studied, there's only been either 5 swords or 7 swords.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But as far as Kempo goes, with when the martial arts started becoming popular here in the United States, Ed Parker was doing his thing and developing the system, but it wasn't until the Tracys got a hold of it and they really spread out the schools. So they famously they took the model of the Arthur Murray dance, and they used the way that they teach those dance classes to teach Kempo lessons. And that really just made it easy for them to open up schools just all over the place.
You know who was right in the middle of that thing you were talking about, the Arthur Murray dance thing? You know who was right in the middle of it? My dad, Junior, Ed Parker, my dad, Uncle Bob. They were all they saw that model of the Arthur Murray today, and they're like, this is what we need with martial arts, and then a bunch of them did it.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have a black belt in Kempo?
No, I actually do not have a black belt, period. Yeah. Even though I started in the 90s, in the early 90s, I
Because you dabble in a bunch of martial arts. What do you dabble?
right now, right now I do 5 martial arts. I do.
What do you?
I do American Kempo, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, and Capoeira. I've also done some boxing when I was in Florida. So I stay busy.
Yeah, that's just stay busy. The Army.
Yeah.
How long were you in Army?
About 3 years.
Okay.
About 3 years. I was a signal system support specialist. So if you talked on it, I worked on it. Radios, computers, satellites.
Okay.
Pretty much all of that.
It's a lot of S's.
There is one. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And what made you go in the Army?
Because I don't swim very well. I do not want to be in a boat. Both my parents were Navy.
Okay.
People.
Dad was Navy.
My mother actually retired from the Navy back in, when was that?
Well, for reference, it's 2025.
Early 2000, I think.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. And I just didn't want to do it, and I didn't really have any kind of directions. I have 3 other older brothers, and I kind of watched what they were doing. My oldest brother, he got out of high school and just kind of really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to go that route.
I don't want to do step 1. What is step 2?
The next brother, he went to kind of the junior college route.
Okay.
then kind of got into working and it wasn't really doing much.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I don't want to go that route.
Question mark there. Okay. They want to go there.
So then the next brother, he went to UCLA,
Okay.
floundered in UCLA, just, I don't know.
So you learned by watching others. That was by example. Yeah. Like, no, army.
Yeah. So that, and I'm a big procrastinator. So, I didn't do my due diligence to make sure I got like scholarships and all that stuff like that. So when it was coming towards the end of my high school days, I was, well, what am I going to do?
I don't know if I ever told you about me going into the Air Force. Thursday? I mean, you know that I did.
I know that you went into the.
So I was on the swim team in high school.
So yeah, Air Force.
So the swim team. That makes sense. Air Force. Well, I was on the swim team in high school, and so I went into high school on the National Junior Honor Society. I was a nerd. So growing up in Norfolk, there were lots of people there. So I went to a school 9 through 12, and when I got there, I was surrounded by women. Women.
You didn't say on the new junior.
I did not say it. Just saying. So then, as I'm, trying out for basketball, looking at football, getting just absolutely murdered, I noticed the girls' swim team. And I was like, there's a lot of girls on this swim team. And I said, I'm going to go try it out for the swim team. Now, the girls had so many that they actually had to cut girls. Like, there were tryouts. The guys, not a lot of guys went out for the swim team. So, you can swim? You're on the team. So, but our school had won districts for like 50 plus years in a row. So, even though there were 8 guys in the swim team, we go into districts we had to get first and second. Like, we had to get first and second in order to keep maintaining that. So, or first, second, third, we had a place. Anyways, so they get captain in the swim team, or it was on the swim team up to 11th grade. Go into my senior year. What do you think my GPA was? I'll let you guess. 2.0. Over under.
2.5.
1.9.
Reaching for those stars.
1.9 GPA going into my senior year. So with that, I had offers or was talking to University of North Carolina and Stanford, in which, if you don't know, those are 2 really good swing programs. They were like, you need to get those grades up. But like, we want, if you want the Jimmy Cross. Like, needless to say, my negotiating skills at age 17 was what? And I couldn't swim my senior year because I had to double up on English just in order to pass, just in order to graduate. So, anyways, needless to say, college wasn't really in my deck of cards there with my grades. I was chasing the skirts around, chasing when I was a freshman, chasing the 11th to 12th grade. They were women. They were wearing what? Forward. There I am, man.
I don't think you were chasing skirts. I think you were chasing what was wearing them.
Yes, I was out there.
It's funny too because, there's a lot of.
But hey, kids, by the way, I have my bachelor's degree now because I went to the Air Force.
Right, and he's married.
And that's why I'm not chasing skirts,
and so I'm
chasing one skirt.
Yeah, just one. It's funny because when I was in elementary school, they would have, you said, who's the smartest kid in the school? A lot of them said a chance.
Yep.
That was not the answer. Junior high to high school, that transition's the same thing.
Okay, go.
Like, I'm not doing that anymore. But, and the distraction.
Yeah, it was a distraction.
Yeah.
Absolutely distraction.
So, Reggie, have you been a mixed bag of martial arts all along, or is your cross training a recent thing?
I would say that there was probably seeds of it early on. So when I started at that first Kempo school, me and my buddy, we would get together, before class and stuff and work on techniques, work on self-defense techniques and try variations. Oh, okay, well, if they're throwing a right cross, what other kind of angles can we work on this? How can we mix our different techniques? How can we try and do some of these other things? And then also, plus, because of our school was kind of a little bit different from the norm of a typical Kempo school in that my instructor he had experience with Taekwondo, so we were much better kickers than Kempo folks usually are. And then also Wally J was one of his mentors, so we got to do some circle, lots of awesome small circle jiu-jitsu stuff. And then also having a lot of Filipino Kali, Eskrima stuff woven into that as well. Got to do some Lima Lama stuff. And so there was always that kind of mixture in there. And then the first UFC came out, and we're all locked in watching this.
There with the Kempo guy.
Yes, Keith Hackney, who I have reached out to be on my show, hoping I can get him. But yeah, we were cheering on, because that was always the thing. Oh, what style? What style can beat this style? What style can beat that style? So, there's a Kempo guy in this thing. Oh, we're all
About to prove to the world.
And while he did very well, he did little skinny guy, little guy by the name of Hoist that came in there and just turned everything upside down.
Yep.
We were like, what is this guy doing? And we were just really interested in it. And one of our buddies had been training with the Machados. And so he would come in, and after class, we'd break out the mitts, we'd hop down, start rolling around, thinking we know what we're doing. I mean, he couldn't have been more than like a 2-3 strike white belt at that, but he was still but he knew way more than any of us. So we're getting around and we're rolling for hours, hours, thinking we know what we're doing. So there was seeds of it, but I didn't officially start kind of cross training until I got back into Kempo. So I trained Kempo, 3 or 4 years, left for the Army, that's when I got into, I did the boxing, I did the Hapkido, I did a little bit of Taekwondo while I was in. When I got out, I wanted to keep training, but I couldn't find so I'm from San Diego. I left the Army. When I left the Army, I moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so I couldn't find a Kempo school that I wanted. And I didn't want to get back into kind of Taekwondo. I felt kind of Taekwondo was kind of this, cookie cutter or whatever. I didn't want to get into that. So I just kind of did my own thing for a while. And then I got hooked into my other love, which was Capoeira. Another influential movie, Capoeira movie, only was from Leptocoscos.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this movie is
Maestre.
is amazing. So I actually had saw it when I was in San Diego, but couldn't find a Capoeira school at the time. So it was always in my mind, and my yearly rewatch of certain movies, A Perfect Weapon, Only the Strong, Best of the Best 2, all in all, could go on and on about that. But looked for Capoeira, found a school in Dallas like the week before I moved to Reno. So it was fresh in my mind when I got to Reno, started looking around. I was like, well, maybe there'll be somebody. And I happened to find a guy that he lived in Tahoe, but he would come up to Reno and he would teach classes. So got in there. I was all in from get-go and just started training that. And there would be points where I'd have to kind of fill in for the teacher because he would just, especially, he's kind of a hippie, free spirit kind of person. So summertime would come around and we'd show up to class.
Yeah.
And
He wasn't there.
he would just disappeared. And
That's beautiful. Okay, I just wasn't there.
all right. And so we're all standing around, like kind of looking at each other, like, what's going to happen?
In the building or the parking lot?
In the building. We were able to get in the building at least, but
How'd you get in the building?
well, we were training at communities, like a dance studio.
Okay.
Had kind of like a rented.
Oh, so we gotta say you broke in.
The best.
I said you broke in.
So we would try to call him and email him and stuff, text him, and he wouldn't respond. So
Yeah.
like, okay, well, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And there was one other guy in the class that had more training than me. He probably had been doing it maybe 6 months, a year more than I had. So we're looking at him, and he's like,
Don't look at me.
I'm not teaching the class. So
Can I be you or me, man, trying to teach jiu-jitsu? Like, oh, there's no color bell surgery today. Guess what? I'm Yako. No, we aren't that good. I teach them. I'm like, all right, here we go. Americana. Key locks off for the next hour. Yeah. Break each other's arm. Thanks.
So since I was the next one in line with the most experience, I would just be like, well, yeah, I guess I can teach the class. I mean, we'll do some capoeira stuff, and then I'm throwing in my karate drills and stuff. So we're supposed to be doing capoeira, but we're going down the floor, front kick, side kick. Yeah. So that just I would kind of fill in the gaps, and then summer would be over, and then, hey, teacher's back.
Then you show up, huh?
Yeah, he'd show up, and
Could you imagine I could imagine you just like not say anything, going for the summer. Like we're sharing.
Me?
You have to think that.
I don't think we can imagine. I think we can imagine
Nikki's and Charlie.
So let me tell you, I would love nothing more than for that to be a doable thing for me.
Yeah, just not show for
Somebody was talking to me yesterday about, okay, so I'm testing for black in Kali in October in this year, allegedly. And so Tom, my Sifu, has had me and Alyssa. Alyssa's my colleague buddy. So we take our private lessons together. So he has asked us to each get our own partner who does Kali that outrace us to be our partner on the test, rather than be each other's partner on the test, because Alyssa's this big. Like I'm not a big guy. I'm just not a big guy, right?
He is about that.
But compared to her, I am giant, right?
yes,
And so it makes the angle is completely, when we're doing hoop flows and stick flows and stuff like that, it's just a very different thing. So Andu is going to be my partner because he's high enough rank at Kali. He knows all the stuff that we need to show. Beverly is going to be her partner.
Okay.
And so yesterday, we're in the office and Alyssa's like, are you and Andu, practicing on your own out? And I'm like, when? When? Show me on a calendar. Show me on a day planner.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know if you understand this because you're here twice a week teaching, but I'm here 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And Andu is super, super busy with his job. He has a very important position in the ISD. But when you tell me that, like, I can see you taking an offer, dude, I would love it.
I could just see, like, by the way, Andu and Alyssa were on our podcast. They're like, but anyways, I can see you just like,
I very much would love that. But let me tell you something about schools that are always closed.
okay.
They always close.
You think
No, they do.
Yeah.
If you close every 6 minutes because there's a bird that pooped on the roof, or we go, the public, like every single time, like if you close every single time that there's inclement weather or this, I'm not saying when the roads are iced over,
right?
Clearly. But if there's just it's really cold, or it's super windy outside, and like if you're always looking for an excuse to not hold classes, your business will not survive.
How long do you think? Let's go down this road. How long do you think that legend would be able to continue? Like if you took the summer, you think it would last the summer?
Clearly.
You have
No. Okay, so this is a really good question. So, I'm trying, and this is where the big thrust of my effort is right now. I don't want to step out of that adult class. I really love teaching the adult class.
Okay.
But I don't teach any other class here.
You just teach the adult class?
I only teach the adult class. And I don't even teach.
Yeah, so I mean you would be able to
But here's the thing, my team is good enough.
Yeah.
They could totally teach that adult class.
Right.
Yes. Only reason I still do it is because I love doing it.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's the problem. I'm still here all the time.
Yeah.
Overseeing and advising and all that kind of stuff for my team. But I am working to a point where this place will run without me because it has to at some point.
But do you think though that when you're the face,
I know what I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
But what you're saying was also true about my father at one point.
yeah,
And I don't know if you know this, but he's dead. He's not here anymore. So if this, the point is that if the school only existed because he was here, it would be dead now.
yeah,
Well, if we made that true about my dad, we could make that true about me.
no, that's fair. That's okay. Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying, Jimmy, and that sounds cool, and it's very, it sounds like, a chance you're to face the legend. Yeah, I get it. But if that stays true, this place dies when I die.
That's a fair statement.
No, it's not a fair statement. It's an absolute truth.
How many people come in that door?
It doesn't matter. Do I want this place to die when I do?
Right.
Because this is my father's legacy. This is not Chance Burleson's legacy. This is my dad's legacy. So if we don't work this to a point where it doesn't require my face all the time,
Yeah.
like, yes, that's a big pat on my back and a big compliment to me,
Yeah.
but it's bigger than me.
Right.
It has to be bigger than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, do you understand what I mean? Like, it'll die
It will.
when I go.
Yeah.
So I have to work it to a point where it doesn't need me. Like, I can be here or I cannot be here. And if I don't get it to that, and that's one of the reasons I'm kind of so panicked to get it there, because I'm super old now.
No, you're not.
The point being is that if I don't begin the process of making that possible while I'm 52,
Yeah.
it'll be impossible at 70.
But you have been doing it anyway.
100%. 100%. So
Yeah, get
to your first point,
Yeah.
I cannot wait to go. I'll see y'all in fall.
See y'all.
That would be awesome.
I'm taking this.
100%. Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
I think that would for you. I think it would for you, like a teacher student. Hey, so you've listened to Blas?
Yes.
On the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not a big movie guy. But I know you a chance. And we have Blas on the show again next week. And I get texts from people who watch our show. They have a problem with Blas's explanation or his view of Doom. Have you ever watched Doom? Are you a Doom guy or he's a martial arts guy?
Well, I vaguely remember watching the original one,
David Leitch.
long time ago.
84.
Sorry, listeners, viewers, whatever. I have not watched the new ones. But even more egregious, and sorry, I got to throw him under the bus, but I recently learned that my Hapkido teacher has not seen Big Trouble in Little China,
Oh my goodness.
has not seen The Last Dragon. Yeah, it was almost me
Eating their eyes.
Move your pizza to Daddy Green's Pizza.
Yes.
I have even seen that.
Yes.
I have seen the Dooms. I didn't.
No, I have not seen the new one. I don't really have any interest to see it. Maybe I should.
He's on Mark 1 for Blas.
That's true. Mark, what is your take on the Smashing Pumpkins?
I Nate, I know I've listened to their music, and I'm sure there's songs that I like, but I couldn't.
So what genre of music do you like the most?
Mostly R&B, hip hop. I listen to a little bit of everything except for country.
Yeah.
There are a few country songs that are okay, but I know it's blasphemous to say in Texas.
Nope. Not in my Texas.
Story.
But I listen to a little bit of everything. But
If you were to work out, if I were like, hey, Reg, we're going to work out, man. Like, what would be on your playlist and just tribal Brazilian music for Capoeira?
there are a lot of good hyped up songs.
Yeah. What's your hype song?
Well, actually, I've been asking this on my podcast now. Something that inspires you to train, and without a doubt, any time I watch Rocky IV, the training montage, Hearts on Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm done. So
Quiet down.
listen. So yeah, so Hearts on Fire. I've been rocking the Bloodsport soundtrack lately.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Okay, so all right, let's dig into this. Let's dig into Bloodsport a little.
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead. So, I will unashamedly, and I don't do a lot of smack talking. I just don't. I don't like it.
Yeah, you don't say it.
But I think it is pretty clear that the story of Frank Dukes didn't happen, which is the premise that Bloodsport was. And here's the thing. If you're going to tell a story that there were underground fights somewhere in the world, I'm sure there were. I'm sure there still are. I've been to some in downtown Fort Worth at 3:00 in the morning. Like there is a thing as an underground betting thing, right? Cockfighting has been a thing since, thousands of years. And that's all we're talking about is an illegal fight.
Talking about chickens.
Fight ring. No, we're not talking about chicken. Yeah. But that is where it got its name. So the point being is that we all thought that it was just based on this true story.
Yeah.
And that as it's been dug into and researched, it didn't happen. He's thought, and it's I think it's very much like people become a big deal and then they fall for their own BS. And they start believing, and so they start puffing up the, if you ever get into Tom Segura's, where he talks about Steven Seagal, he's like, that's a Shih Tzu boxer helmet. I've been training dogs for 47 years, and he's like 48. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so when people start fluffing up their own thing, that's very nauseating to me.
Yeah.
But did you like the movie? I loved the movie. I was a child when I saw it. It was amazing. Tom Poe. And he hits the pole. I mean, that's beautiful. Of course, there are very few, if any, Thai people who look like Tom Poe.
Yeah.
Like that massive, But it was such an entertaining film. Now, here's the thing about Jean-Claude. He was a karate guy. He was legitimately a karate guy. You know who else was? Dolph Lundgren.
Yep.
Just a crunch guy, huh?
Yeah, he's a Kyokushin guy. You know what's funny about Dolph Lundgren? Isn't he like a molecular biologist?
Yep.
He's like it's a double PhD. Yep. Like he's literally a rocket scientist.
Yeah. Have you seen those movies,
Expendables?
Thank you. Have you seen the Expendables?
Yeah, they made a joke about his whatever MIT stuff in the second one, and it was like, oh, well, he's trying to make a bomb instead. And it's like, well, he is like a chemical engineer. Or
He is. Yeah.
Have you seen them? Have you seen those movies, The Expendables?
I maybe watched the first one. It was.
What's the thing?
I don't know. Maybe like. I love exciting violence I love exciting action violent movies. I love them, but they still have to be well done.
Yeah.
Like it has to be good film writing and good cinematography is not enough. there has to be a good script. It has to be shot well. It has to be acted well.
Like Labyrinth?
Huh?
Like Labyrinth?
Labyrinth? It's amazing.
It is.
It's an amazing film.
That's what I was going to.
Yes, absolutely.
Labyrinth was.
Yeah, don't poke fun at me.
I'm not poking fun of you.
No, I love Labyrinth. I showed it to my wife. So
Yes.
not a fan.
Not entertained.
She's not a fan.
Oh, you know what movie popped in my head the other day? Solar Babies.
But that movie, that was such a great song thing.
Yeah, I know I've seen it.
There's like that little, round.
Yeah, do you ever remember Flight of the Navigator?
Actually, that's probably rewatched it maybe like 6 months ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like you say something when the kids were younger.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. You can.
Backwards not included. That was
Yeah, it was. But I don't think I showed the kid. But you can bust Journey and tell. Actually, Talon, maybe the one. We introduced them to Willow. When they were the kids were scared of Willow. Like I had to turn the movie. Yeah. No, they weren't scared. They weren't scared of the midget. They were scared of like. Were they scared of the whole? I don't remember which part they were, but they were scared. Of course, they were probably a lot younger, probably in their single digits when I introduced them to Willow.
Yeah, listen, Willow's great.
It is, and the midget was. He was like,
I don't think we're supposed to say midget anymore. Are we supposed to? Are we? So here's.
have you ever asked a midget what they want to be called?
I don't know any midgets, but so here's the thing. You ever heard Bill Burr do his bit on midgets? And he goes, so apparently, no. So this is true. On this tree, midget is a slur, right? Okay. It is
To a midget?
It is a slur to a midget.
I want to ask.
Well, and I can't corroborate this with the midgets.
Okay, I'm going to find.
But what you're supposed to say is little person.
If you're a midget, please comment in the section below.
Yeah, little person. Here's the thing. When I heard Bill Burr say this, he goes, is it just me? Or is the politically correct term more insulting than the word midget? And he's like, does the little person want to come up on the big stage? It seems more insulting, doesn't it? Who's the little person?
Little person.
He goes, midget just seems like a strong, you know?
It's actually funny. So, gosh, I must have been about 4 or 5, and my mother took me we went to like this, I don't know, I guess like thrift store, shop, and we're walking around and saw a person of shorter stature.
You can say midget.
Fully grown person about the height of a child.
Yeah, I don't want to get you guys canceled. So I'm not sure.
Nobody cares enough about us to cancel.
Listen, all they're going to do is down there like they did, and they did all like us fighting Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
It's not, you know.
Yeah, we were talking about which celebrities we could beat up, and all like Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, I saw that.
Put that down. I told you guys like we got down there. Like people didn't like that one. And now I think it's our most. Most people, it's like,
Please cancel us.
please,
It might get us sponsored.
midgets.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But walk around and saw this shorter person, and kids have no filter, and they screamed out, "Hey, look at the little lady!"
Yeah.
My mother turned, and it was snatched me up.
Yeah.
Huge. Say the
Yeah.
what? She's little.
yeah, like that.
It's a problem. I'm just putting out facts, but
No, I'd say, but I've never asked you. Could we ask Reg his hype song? What is your like? If you're
I've gotten several. I would say
I cycle through them. Yeah. Wait, so you have a couple.
So one of them would definitely be Master of Puppets by Metallica.
Okay.
One of them is Shove It by Deftones.
Okay.
My Own Private Summer. And then I've got some EDM stuff that I really, really like. Some really well done. So when I was a kid, when I was spending most of my time on the other side of the tracks, I got into some really kind of hardcore European electronic music when I was in high school. What we thought was like super edgy and cool was to go to these like dance clubs.
Yeah.
It was before they called them raves and had raves, it was where raves came from, that whole culture. And I'm talking about the 90s.
Yeah.
And there was a band called Front 242. And it's very obscure. And, most people wouldn't know about it. But they have a lot of remixes of their songs that kind of throw me back in time and kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I like some of those songs. All right. So
No Kenny G. I'm there.
So I am an elitist in a few ways. Okay, there are a couple of things that I feel 100% balls to bones superior to other people.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I mean, arrogant. Arrogance not even a strong enough word.
Go ahead about that.
Okay, one of them is my music. I believe that my music is better than other people's music.
Okay.
Unless I find out that they like the exact same music, then they're on the same level.
See, what about White Zombie? See,
I love the White Zombie.
like to me, more human than human is like,
But I'm also elitist in some other ways.
Okay.
One, because I'm not rich. I don't know if you know that. I'm not a rich person. But occasionally I will go have a cigar with a friend. But I will not smoke like a subpar cigar. I will only smoke a very high-end Cuban, or I won't smoke it at all.
Okay.
Right? But I think the worst one, and I believe I am justifiably arrogant to my bones. Tell me, I am a better driver than anybody else on the planet.
Nikki, is Chance Burleson a better driver than anyone else on the planet? What say you?
So it could be frightening if you were riding with him
Okay.
because he's an aggressive driver,
Okay.
but he somehow never crashes into anything.
That
So-
might be the key.
Ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I would say yes.
Not crashing is a key factor.
Yeah, that is a measurable method.
I've also seen him get out of tickets because he told the police officer that he's just a better driver than everyone else and he doesn't have to obey the speed limit.
She's been in the car with me. Listen, this is a true story. We were dropping her son off in Austin or Bastrop or somewhere on there, south. And we're coming back through Alvarado.
Okay.
And we get pulled over by a stadium doing 97
Yeah.
at a 55. And he didn't give me a ticket.
Is this what you told him? That
Yeah.
this is just the
He told him basically, I'm a better driver than everyone else, so I can go this fast.
head is. You're right.
And
Ballsy.
and not only did I get out of that ticket, I got out of the ticket when I was driving home, and it's construction. It was 11 o'clock at night, and it was like that with the highway, But there was nobody on the road. It was 11 o'clock at night, but they dropped the speed limit to 45 because of construction, right? And I get pulled over by a stadium. He goes, I pulled you over. I said, absolutely, I totally understand. And I'm very respectful. And I said, and you can wait right here tomorrow at the same time, and I will be going this fast again. You can write me all the tickets you want. And I will never. And I was like, and I'm not going to be upset with you for writing a ticket. I'm telling you this is what I'm going to do, and I know what the consequences are, but I am a better driver than all the rest of these people. You should definitely make them drive the speed limit. But how awful is that? But I still believe it to be true. I do. Okay. And in like bad weather,
Yeah.
I glow. I'm like Bruce.
I have never seen it. I'm
like so arrogant. I'm so arrogant.
Can't wait for the roads to ice over.
Because I can drive in anything.
Reggie, you're here for the first time I've ever seen
Jimmy was on a day years old when he found out I was this arrogant.
No, look at how
Yeah, no, I can see it.
I know.
He's like, no.
And listen, I would polygraph this all day.
Yeah.
And it's not that like I can beat you in a car race. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a more plugged in, like, you know what fight IQ is?
Yes.
When your body just seems to know how to move. My body knows how to do that behind the wheel of a car.
Man, I would love to get you on the Autobahn.
Oh, no, I'm not a super overly fast driver. I am an aggressive driver.
Oh, okay.
But like, I'm not an asshole driver. Like, I don't like ride on people. Like, I don't.
How many times do you flip people off a day?
I've never, ever flipped anybody. I don't have road rage. Yeah. Ever. I never have road.
You just have rage?
No,
Good old fashioned rage.
no, I'm so good. I'm above being angry at other people.
This is a recent development.
What, my rage?
Your lack of rage over other people, because you used to get really mad when people would drive under the speed limit in the left lane.
Oh no, I get it. No, I don't have an outward rage rate. I don't have outward road rage.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't interact with them.
Sure.
I hate them. Like inside, deep in my bones,
Yes.
I hate them.
You guys also, if you're watching this right now, just know that you are a subpar driver.
Yeah, no, all of you. All right. So, like half of you should have a license.
Oh,
So, I think it's an interesting commentary on human nature that on this Saturday, get out on the highway.
okay.
And what you will find is that there are so many people in the two left lanes convinced that they are going the proper speed, that the right lane is wide open for passing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think this is interesting commentary on human nature. Most people really do believe that whatever they're doing is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Like just coasting.
And it's because I think that we don't ask ourselves difficult questions enough. I don't think we inventory ourselves enough. I think that we should be asking ourselves on a regular basis, is what I'm doing okay? Is it impacting other people? Am I getting in other people's way? Am I, but most people are so self-obsessed that the left lane, that's fine. Y'all all go to hell.
Do you think, what was the question we were going to ask? Was a question I was going to ask there, Rich. I was going to ask a somewhat question. Do you drive by cars and look in their vehicles? Because Miriam,
Yes.
Miriam she gets mad, but she's like, stop looking. I was like, I just want to see, because they look like a mouth breather. And I'm sure they don't know.
Did you ever hear John Mulaney, the comedian?
Yeah.
He goes, listen, he goes, I'm a really bad driver. He goes, and that people are pulling up next to me to see some like 111-year-old woman with her long blue hair. He goes, and instead they see a 38-year-old man trying his best.
Oh, man.
Because did I drink?
Oh, that's so cute.
Do you know why I'm such a good driver? This is very good. So this is you. Now, none of you can reach my level. I want you to know that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
Setting
how hard you work. No, give up. Like, it's hopeless for you. You're always going to be a substandard driver. The reason I didn't mean to end up this way.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. But I grew up in the country, and my dad started teaching me how to drive when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Okay. So we had country roads. And so I would steal a car. Now I wouldn't go to a liquor store.
How old were you?
I was like saying 10 or
11. You stole your first car.
yeah. No, I would just steal my dad's car. Oh, it's like it's an inter-family crime. And, but what I would do is I would steal the car and I would just drive around on the back roads and then bring it back.
Okay.
So I'd never get caught.
Yeah.
And so by the time I turned 16, I had been driving from the karate school, which was always in the mid-cities, to Azle. I had been driving every single day that drive years before I got my license.
Yeah.
And so like the license just made it legal. I had been doing that for years.
Yeah.
And so when I got my license, I just didn't have to worry about getting pulled over anymore. And then every day since my 16th birthday, which was 1,000 years ago, I have been driving all over the country. And I've driven in like really difficult parts of the world to drive in. You know, I've driven in New York City. I've driven in Mexico. Like I've driven in Costa Rica. I've driven in Guatemala. I've driven, and it doesn't bother me. I don't get anxious. I don't get nervous because I'm just comfortable behind the wheel of the car. And I just think it's because I've done it so much. It's not because I'm better. I probably am. I probably am. Like I have like that extra gene. Have you ever seen the Jason Bourne fame? Like the Bourne identity, Bourne. Yeah. Okay. I think what has happened is I've been genetically modified, where I have like a reuptake inhibitor in my cellular respiration. Yeah, where it makes me like 2% sharper and faster.
So you think that maybe alien has taken advantage of
No, but like definitely in the Captain America, like an enhanced what they call. So I'm enhanced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, are you a comic book nerd as well?
No. I would say from the
Or 80s, 90s cartoons? Like,
Go wild at stuff from the
dude, let me tell you something. I went first.
Boy, they definitely didn't win. You know, the Transformers won that battle.
So I think GoBots, because we just went to the American History Museum in D.C. And so they had like all the
Spirit St. Louis.
Yeah, but this was the American. Like, if you guys haven't check it out. They had history of the TV, cartoons.
Okay.
Then a bunch of, like, of course, Civil War. They had the flag. He still had the flag that inspired the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, wow.
Which, I have a picture of it. Supposedly, you weren't allowed to take pictures because I didn't see the sign. So I did, like all the people on the bus, like, you can't untake the picture. Yeah, you can't untake. It's not going to delete it. Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But anyways, they had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt. I said to Phil, man, if they had this in a large, I would have bought one. So are you like any of the, like those?
yeah.
Like what was your favorite?
Gosh, I mean, you know, really all of those G.I. Joe,
Yes.
Transformers. I did GoBots. I guess was into that.
GoBots to me was the poor man's version.
Yeah.
Kind of like
It was the great value of
it was a great value. Kind of like when people tell me like, oh yeah, I grew up with Legos and like I grew up with I didn't know you were that rich. I grew up with Lincoln.
Yeah.
That's how this would go by. I hope I have to
Double check my sources, but I believe actually GoBots came first.
They did. Yeah. So they did. GoBots did come first, and then it was Transformers that sold. But the Transformers, I think that it was the theme songs that probably made the cartoon more than meets the other.
Oh yeah, actually, getting back to the hyped up, the song and hype up thing. So recently, I've been listening to the Transformers the movie soundtrack, and you know, you got the touch, and the Transformers, the Transformers movie.
Did you cry?
Theme songs.
Oh hell yeah!
And the G.I. Joe movie, the animated G.I. Joe movie, opening song, that song hits. If you listen to that and you're not hyped up,
You'll watch the G.I. Joe movie, like the live action. Yeah, like that Channing Tatum was I hadn't seen that one. I saw the one. I think it was Snake Eyes. Yeah, no, was the one I saw. Didn't the G.I. Joe come after that Snake Eyes one?
the Snake Eyes, they did the G.I. Joe movies, and then they sprinkled in.
I need to watch it. That's still, there's a movie that Phil keeps telling me about. What? Wait,
I still need
Best of the Best. No. Was it champ? Was it the Only the Strong?
And a Champion.
Born a Champion. Have you seen that one?
Boom. So
Yeah, I've seen it.
So-
it's a jiu-jitsu movie.
Yeah.
The guys from Bleeding Dog Sing.
yeah. Sean Pat, the son.
Yeah, he's just white, right?
Yeah. No,
He did came into the seminar in Dallas not long ago.
I've reached out for him to be on the show. I know probably won't happen, but
So how do you just when you reach out for people to be on your show? You just message them?
Yep.
I mean, we're not going. I don't think we'll ever get that high class to where we're not the Reggie open. We're not on.
no. When I came up with the idea when I finally committed to, hey, I'm going to do a show. I'm on a Kempo Facebook group, and I just went out and I said, hey, anybody, like, I'm going to start a Kempo podcast. Anybody interested in being on? And I thought, okay, well, maybe I might get, a couple of nobodies, and then maybe eventually I'll work my way up to somebody big time. And kind of right off the bat, a lot of the big time people in the Kempo world were like, yeah, I'll be on. I'm like, holy crap.
Didn't you say you had John Hackleman on?
Yes. Had John Hackleman on. So
You know who that is, don't you?
No.
Chuck Liddell's teacher. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was in a seminar with him, and he comes in. He's inked from and for me to say somebody's inked like he's inked, right? Yeah. And he has black fingernail and toenail polish on, and he walks in like fighting shorts and like a bricked up shirt, and he dresses like me. He walks in and he taught an hour seminar on throwing a hook without raising your hands.
Throwing a hook without raising your...
Yeah, in other words, you just throw it from down here. Like don't throw it from up here. Don't throw it. Yeah, and it was for an hour, and I was fascinated. I was eating out of the palm of his hand. Yeah,
You're not showing... Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Well, Reggie, this has been wonderful.
It's been fun.
no, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for exciting, man. It's been a lot of fun.
It's nice to be able to geek out and talk about that stuff instead of looking at my wife's eyes kind of glaze over. Especially like if I have a celebrity. So as we were recording yesterday, I interviewed Chris Casamassa.
You did? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Anytime I have a celebrity on, and I just
Geek out.
geek out to my wife, and she's supportive. I love her to death. She's supportive. But I get all excited about, I got to talk to Jeff Speakman.
Yeah. She's like,
And it's just like,
okay. Get my buddy Chip on your podcast.
yeah, no, I'm trying to get any and everybody on. So
Chip's a great guy. Well, I'm excited for you. I want to show you as soon as we close out the podcast. I'm going to show you the knife disarm I learned last night.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Go like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next week with the Blas on the show.
Anyways,
All right, guys. Love you guys. Till next time.
peace.